Hello, Tomorrow River families, friends, and community. My name is Ryan Ruggles. I am the district superintendent. I wanted to share some information around our April 2nd operational referendum, make sure that all of our voters and all of our community has the facts around our referendum that is set to expire and how we intend to replace it. This presentation, hopefully we'll get done in about 5 minutes or so, and it's taken a much larger 45-minute presentation that we've given to the greater community, but we wanted to make sure that there was options to see the most important information here. So we wanted to talk a little bit about our vision, talk about our funding reality, talk about the funding reality in Wisconsin, and our ask, and a little bit about the history behind it, and then the impact on you as the community member. So I want to start with the strategic plan, and I'm not going to get into all of the pillars, but we updated the strategic plan in August, and this is our why. These are the most important things that we want to make sure that are happening within our district. High quality staff, a focus on teaching and learning, making sure all of our kids are future ready, providing a social emotional supportive community for all of our students. And we really wanted to build on that relationship to community and stakeholders. And a big piece of that we built in is fiscal responsibility to that focus on our community and their stakeholders. It is super important to us. So here's where we're at, our current reality. We have a $400,000 operational referendum that is set to expire at the end of this school year. And as we forecast into the following school year, we're projecting an $850,000 shortfall for next school year. And why is that? Lots of factors for that. Number one, we have a slightly declining in district enrollment, which reduces our school's revenue. Our open enrollment is up, which is a good thing. That open enrollment has been a savior for us here in Tomorrow River Schools. It's been able to help us keep class sizes at a good number. It has helped us keep good opportunities at all of our levels. So that's been super positive, and that's one of the things that sustained us. Another reason for the shortfall, we are locked into low revenue limits and just a lack of state funding. When you look at the inflationary costs over the last several years, that is also a major factor. And the one piece that I definitely wanted to make sure that I was clear on is that our Falcom Steam building, the referendum project, our building referendum project, has no connection to this budget shortfall. So those are two different pieces. So that referendum was for brick and mortar. This one is for operational and making sure that we can fund the classes. So here's what our ask is as we look at that $850,000 shortfall. We're asking for a $900,000 non-recurrent operating referendum for 3 years. We know that by year 3, that 900 isn't going to be quite enough, that we're going to have to make some cuts. And again, fiscal responsibility is something that we think is really important, and we want to make sure that we establish trust with the community, know that we are asking for what we need, not more than what we need. So part of our process over the next couple of years is we'll be looking at fees. We'll be looking at all of our operations. We'll be looking at all positions to see what we can do differently, where we can find savings, and how we can be even more efficient than we are right now. That allows us to do some long-term planning and hopefully allows the state to look at their funding formula, and we're going to cross our fingers that some good things will happen from the state as well. So here in Amherst, we've done an amazing job over the years. As you can see, we are the highest achieving district in our conference. We are the highest achieving high school in terms of ACT score last year. And we are also the lowest spending district educational costs per student within the conference. So that's pretty amazing. So we have been efficient with our funds. We've done more with less. And I think that's a testament to our amazing staff members, our incredible teachers, and to the great community support that we've had from our families. When we look at what's happening from the state level, so this graph shows the difference between how much more we've gotten per year per student from the state, and then what that amount should be per inflation. And you can see that as you look across that graph, that line goes up and up and up and up. And that number in the far right-hand side comes to $2,300 per student. So if Wisconsin funding would keep up with inflation, so the money we get from the state would have kept up with inflation, we'd be looking at $2,300 more per student Okay, so as we run the math for a district our size, we're looking at $2.7 million. If we had that, if we were funded from the state the way that we should, we're not looking at a operational referendum right now. There's absolutely no need. In fact, we'd be able to fund a lot of our capital projects as well with that sort of budget, that sort of support. But that has just not been the case. And with that, as you look across the state, you have more and more districts that are continuously going to referendum in order to meet their needs. Just this spring, we have 66 school districts that are going for operational referendums throughout the state. More than that, another group is going for capital projects throughout the state as well. As we dig into what those asks are, like what the needs are within the districts, the average ask for an operational referendum is $2.4 million annually. Our ask is $900,000 annually. We are amongst the lowest 15 districts in what we're asking for this spring. So again, we're asking for what we need. We want to make sure we establish trust with our community, and we're going to do our due diligence, really evaluating our practices over the next several years. So what does that mean to you? So if our operational referendum passes, next year you're looking at an $8.33 mill rate. That's what we're looking for here in Amherst. And as you look at the 25-26 school year and then the 26 to 27 school year, we're going to see slight declines in that mill rate. In terms of what that means per your house, for a $300,000 property, you're looking at roughly $213 a year in additional taxes. So as we talk about the mill rate, I definitely wanted to share kind of the long range look of what that has been. And if we go back to 2016, we were just under $10 for our mill rate. We saw it go down for a couple years. And then in 2023, we had that tax snafu where our bond premium was not applied, and then it was fully applied for this year. That's why we had a huge drop in the mill rate this year. So that will go back up to 8.33, and again, then see a slight decline. So it's going to be much more predictable. That's why we want to see our mill rates. We want it to be steady, predictable, because we definitely don't want any surprises for our taxpayers. So what happens if it doesn't fail? And again, we've utilized a operational referendum in Amherst for the last 20 years. Since 2001, we have counted on those funds to run the show. So if Let's Go Blue fails, we're looking at a pretty significant decrease in staffing. We're looking at decreased student opportunities for electives and programming, and there are potential cuts throughout the district from athletics, extracurriculars, decrease our ability to fund our technology needs, which are significant here, and then some safety and curriculum needs as well. Obviously, some of the bigger pieces that are a little harder to measure is the danger of what it does potentially to staff retention and just us being a destination district and such a positive culture. And definitely we want to make sure that we keep our momentum as a destination district, one of the best districts in this part of the state. And one of our goals is to be one of the best districts in the entire state of Wisconsin. So as always, we appreciate your support. We appreciate all the questions that you have. And please feel free to reach out if you need anything. And thanks for your time.